Hey everyone, D3 here from BrightIdeaScouting.com. Just another day of scouting in the park. So I want to answer your questions. Even though it's 37 degrees and raining here in the park, I didn't want that to stop me from helping you answer your questions. So the question came in this last week. Someone was looking at our PAX calendar and saw a bunch of things that are kind of different. We do a lot of different things with the boys. And they kind of asked, hey Doug, how were you able to convince your parents to try a bunch of these different items? Haven't you ever run into the syndrome of we've never done that or we've always done it this way? And I'm like, absolutely, I've ran into that. Let me take you back 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. I took over as a committee chair in our PAC. And the first night I came in knowing, because I've worked with churches, worked with other organizations, worked with a lot of things, that no matter where you are, there's going to be people there that say, well, we've never done that, or we've always done it this way. And sometimes there's a legitimate reason for it, and it's a good reason. And I'm not here just to change things up, but I want to make things better for the boys. So very first night kind of set the stage for me taking over as the committee chair. I just said, hey, I want us to all become successful failures. And here's what I mean by that. And I hope you're a successful failure too. You see, when I take a look at the PAC, when I take a look at the activities that we do, I want to do this for the boys. I want the boys to have amazing experiences that might change their lives. It's amazing when you see how much stuff I do in my life, the activities I do with my three boys. That's really rooted in a lot of scouting that I did 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. And we still do those things today. I'm outdoors and doing stuff because of what we did in Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. And so I want the boys in our PAC to try that. So I told everyone very first night, I want to be a successful failure, and I want you to too. So what do I mean by that? I want you to be willing to come up with an idea to try something that we've never done before, and it might fail. And it might be horrible, and it might be a disaster. Now, unfortunately, that's never happened. But there's always things we can do better. So I told people, when I want you to come up with something, whether it's an ice cream sundae, whether it's a hike, whether it's going maple surfing, to try something, we're willing to try it. And if it works, we keep it. If it doesn't work, we either ask ourselves, do we need to tweak this activity? Or do we need to just get rid of it? Maybe it didn't work. And stuff like that. So every month when we come to our PAC meeting and we're going through the activities, I always remind people, I'm here to try new things. So we're willing to try new things, see what works, and see what doesn't work. And so I want you to be able to tell your team back there, hey, I'm willing to try this, and if it fails, I'm not a bad person. We had some people that are like, well, I don't want to give you an idea, Doug, because it might not go good. And then everyone looks at me as like, well, that person had a failed activity. No, just tell them, we tried something. It didn't work for whatever reason, and it's off the calendar. No big deal. It's nothing to worry about. So we want you to be able to try that stuff too. So here's a couple things that I did. First of all, I came in and I said, here's what I want. If there's something that doesn't work, we're going to get rid of it. If there's something that you want to do, we're going to try it. But we're going to try it with this. At the end of every month, after we try something, at the next committee meeting, we always do a start, stop, and continue, which is for another video as to what we do. And we take a look at how we're going to evaluate that and proceed. Sometimes it means keeping it because it was great. Sometimes it means keeping it but tweaking it because there's things that we just didn't think about. And sometimes it just means, the kids had fun, yay! But it's time to get rid of it. We scrap those things. And there are things that are not on our 2016 calendar that were on 2015 or 2014 because it just didn't work and that. So I love the fact that my team has rallied around this, that we're willing to try something. And if it fails, the person who organized it or planned it, they're not a failure, but they're simply the person that implemented it, and it just wasn't a right fit. We find more things that the boys like than don't like. So to me, we win. But occasionally, we have to scrap things. So that would be my thing to you. Also, thinking back to everything you guys have said in the comments, you've always said, Doug, at the end, could you tell us what tomorrow's is? So tomorrow, I'm going to answer the question, how do you get more scouts? Because we're in April here, and a lot of you are going to be finishing up here in in May. So come June 1st, Don, how do you get your boys to stay more active in Scouts over the summer? There's no more school. There's no more weekly interactions. How do you get your boys more involved during the summer months of June, July, and August? And I'll see you tomorrow and answer that question. Stay warm.